The shadow is a part of yourself which is not consciously recognized. It contains those repressed contents of your consciousness, of your knowledge of yourself, which you deny, which you do not want to confront within yourself. In this reading, we are going to explore the shadow self. This is going to be a shortened version of the shadow reading, which I offer on my website. And we're going to look into the ways in which we can identify the functioning, the behaviors of the shadow, and how to integrate it with the conscious self. So here we are going to pick one name out of this bowl. This is the name of all of my supporters who decided to join the lottery. And if you're interested in joining the next lottery event, please check out the description below and you will find the links to Patreon, and you can also join via my website. So here we go. One person is going to be chosen and will receive the reading. All right. So the person is Rachel K. Congratulations, Rachel. Let's get to your reading. So welcome anyone else who wants to stay along for the ride and watch this reading that I'm doing for Rachel. Maybe you guys are going to be able to get something from this as well, see the reading format and try it for yourself or what have you. Anyway, Rachel, this reading is for you, and we're going to first and foremost see the energy of the conscious self. So what is consciously recognized? What is operational knowledge and information that you have access to regarding yourself? What are the conscious parts of yourself at this moment, right? So this is not to say that this is how you operate at all times. We're more interested in seeing a snapshot of where you are right now. Okay, now let's investigate and try to see the shadow self. So let's get some information about the shadow self. What is going on there? What is it like? What is repressed and stored kind of in the shadow part? The shadow is the source of a lot of our hidden anxieties, and a lot of projections come as a kind of a reflection of us kind of sort of knowing on some unconscious level what the shadow contains, but not being able to confront it head on, so we project it to the external world. So in your case, let's see what the shadow self is like. Let's get a glimpse of it. And let's also see the path of integration. So what is, according to the tarot, the best way to invite and integrate and assimilate some of the shadow self into the conscious self? because, and this is the underlying idea here, is that instead of denying the existence of the shadow, the most healing thing you can do is to recognize its existence, to get to know it better, and to utilize some of its shunned capabilities and characteristics in your waking conscious state. All right. So now, the conscious parts of yourself is represented by the Five of Swords. So immediately we are met with an image of interpersonal struggle and discord, and all sorts of kind of negativistic attitudes regarding the self and its relation to others. Okay. What does the shadow contain? All right, so that's the 10 of Swords. So in a certain sense, both of these swords cards, the 10 and the 5 of Swords alike, they represent types of defeat or struggle. Rather, in the 5 of Swords, it's not yet determined if this is going to end badly for you. But in the 10 of Swords, there's a fatalistic failure that reverberates through consciousness, and it generates these deep and uncomfortable feelings of incompetence and lack of agency. So we're going to talk about that, okay? And the integration, the path of integration, is represented by the King of Wands. The King of Wands, okay? So we have 2 swords cards, meaning they relate to the energy of air, the air element, and so therefore they inform your attitudes. They constitute the underlying working theory that directs your attention, your focus, your choices. It is the theory behind the action. And the wands, the fire suit, represent the action which is taken. And with the King of Wands, we have this highest performing, most skilled, most competent version of this actor, this decision maker. And so this is the highest, most refined, most expert-like expression of this fire energy. Okay. So immediately there seems to be an opposition here. Both the 5 and the 10 of Swords speak to your feelings of lack of control, lack of agency. And then the King of Wands comes along with full confidence, a sense of responsibility as well as power in the situation. And so there's this seeming contradiction, but we're going to work through it, okay? So the 5 of Swords as the representative of your conscious self, I think this is probably the clearest example of what projection is. So, in your shadow self, the Ten of Swords is operating, which is this deep, unspoken dread of failure, of disintegration, of being exposed, of getting to that point where the self discombobulates. This is the ultimate form of fragmentation. The self explodes into these tiny, non-related parts. There's a divisive internal energy, which is torturous, and it makes for a subjective experience of lack of power, lack of control. So this is probably the most important element or a feature of the Ten of Swords here, is that there's no mobility, there's no movement, there's no endogenous genesis of any sorts of desires or action, or even the ability to defend oneself is gone with the Ten of Swords. And so these uncomfortable feelings are pushed onto or into the fabric of the shadow self, and thus are not available for your conscious exploration. And what happens on the conscious level is that health of the experience is projected onto the external world. So you may be very triggered by, or very strong emotions are potentially released in situations where you experience somebody else's incompetence, or where you perceive it to be so. And so with the Five of Swords, there is, on the one hand, there is paranoia. So the other person or other people, they are not harmonizing with me. They are not congruent with what I want. They are either incapable or unwilling to provide the mental energy, the mental connection, which would be necessary for us to move forward in a healthy fashion. So there's a lot of blame projected onto the external world, which also is, it also kind of entails or invites feelings of self-blame. So those two, they come together. There's harsh criticism of others and harsh negativistic attitudes towards the self. So within this climate, you're not the sole carrier of these unbearable feelings of impotence or inertia. Some of it is projected onto the external world, but with that, conversely and counterintuitively, you're giving away your power to get a hold on the situation. So what the path of integration is, according to the King of Wands, is the more responsibility you give yourself, the more healing can occur. Meaning, instead of waiting around for others to sort of authorize your actions, instead of waiting for somebody else to give you that seal of approval, to connect you on that mental level and give you that feeling of security and the feeling of I'm okay, instead of waiting around for that, because that's quite a swampy, ambiguous area, and it's very much up to your interpretation of events, which cognitive distortions can play a big part here. Instead of that, veer into the realm of fire, of active decision making, of ideas incarnate in action. The King of Wands sees, identifies situations which require his intervention and his decision making. And he steps up and he takes responsibility. He's ready to be held accountable for the mistakes that he might be making, but he's also enjoying the power and the feeling of competence that comes from such a choice. So the tarot's advice is to definitely 100% expose yourself to situations where there's a lot at stake, at least from a psychological point of view, where you can fail. Because right now, it seems as though you are avoiding those situations and pointing the finger at other people, explaining to yourself that they are not allowing you to take the position that you would otherwise be happy to occupy. And part of that, it's absolutely possible that some of these people are sabotaging you, but a big part of it, and this is what the shadow self is expressing, is an intense dread of failure, of losing control, of a dissolution of the self. And so proactively and voluntarily exposing yourself to situations of high responsibility, where you have to actively shape the future of your endeavor and of other people, where you have to be held accountable for your actions. This is a good pathway to resolve some of this fear and to kind of face the shadow self head on. And it's important to note here that the King of Wands is indicating that there are potentially several areas of life where you have the expertise, where you have the skills and the competence to occupy such positions. So it doesn't come down to a lack of skill on your part. Instead, it's the frightening image of the Ten of Swords that's keeping you scared and wanting to run away. So, Rachel, I hope that you enjoy this reading, and everybody else who decided to stay and watch, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think and whether you like this reading format. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye-bye.